All the pictures in the world cannot prepare you for the breathtaking wonder that is Venice. Once the unrivaled mistress of trade between Europe and Asia, that legacy, a cross-fertilization of people and their cultures, is still alive in the faces, art and architecture of the city today. But if Venice owes her past grandeur to the sea, now it's a human tide which washes over her. Already straining at her foundations, Venice endures nearly 30,000 tourists a day, with a local population of only 60,000. I was here to experience the city before its people were washed away completely. My pilot is Claudio Brunato, with what must be one of the best jobs in the world, a taxi driver in Venice.
There is a place where I wanna be, where it is home waiting for me. I know I will find beyond any doubt somebody's waiting to show me around.
Claudio, my taxi driver with a difference, took me on the most magical ride into a city I've ever experienced.
And are you called a taxi driver? What do you call it? I mean, you're driving a boat.
Actually, it is one term. It is called motoscafista, one taxi driver here in Venice.
Motoscafista.
Exactly. That translated in English, it sounds more or less like motorboat driver, something like this. Is that it is everything condensed into one word.
Motorboat driver.
Yeah, exactly.
The tourists drive you crazy here because you're a local.
It depends. It depends. For example, one American once, in order to let me understand how amazing was Venice to him, he was saying to me, well, Venice is like Disney World. I was, please don't say this. You cannot see the history and all the centuries are here. I don't know, in the buildings, in the architecture, in the, it is something deeper than how it looks.
Than Disneyland.
Exactly. Yeah. I had been in Disneyland too, but in Epcot Center in Florida, there is one small Venice reproduction, but one reproduction of Venice in a small way. But it is funny because the Doge's Palace is on the wrong side.
No! Actually live in Venice?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah, and you have your own apartment?
Actually, I'm still living with my parents because I had big money spending because of the boat and things, so I couldn't afford my own apartment up to now. But I think I will not stay there for longer. As soon as I will find anything here in Venice, because I don't want to go to live anywhere else.
And do many young people leave Venice because they can't afford to do this?
Yes.
Yeah. So who lives in these palazzos? Venetians, ordinary people?
Well, yes, some of them, they're Venetians, very wealthy one, or to foreign people. And of course, the young people that have an ordinary job, it is pretty hard for them to afford a house here. This is a Palazzo Dario.
Okay.
All the owners of this palace died by violent death.
Yeah.
I think that's the only place on the Grand Canal that you can afford.
Full of the joys of early summer and extremely talkative, I figured Claudio would be a good person to call on during my stay. We exchanged numbers and he dropped me off at the entrance to the Grand Canal. My journey into the surreal world that is Venezia could now begin.
Here we are.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Claudio. Ciao.
Very, very nice to have met you.
Whoa,
see you.
You too.
Be careful.
I'll call you.
Of course, you have the number. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
See you.
I checked into my hotel and waited a while before going out. Most people who come to Venice usually only do so for the day, bringing their own food and drink with them. By night, they've gone, and that's when the Venetians reclaim the city for themselves. Walking along the canals and calles, I felt as if I'd sneaked onto an opera set between the acts, only to be reminded by the smell of home cooking and the sound of everyday life that people do actually live here. You don't lie about in bed on your first morning in Venice, so I was up and out bright and early. When I arrived at the Rialto Bridge, I saw about 400 gondolas blocking the Grand Canal. With something of a reputation in Venice, a family affair if you know what I mean, the gondoliers are the city's self-proclaimed mouthpiece. Today, they've decided that action must be taken against illegal immigrants, who they claim are ruining their business. I guess even romantic Venice is not immune to the problems sweeping the rest of Europe today. Fascinating as the scene was, I had to move on. I had an appointment with one of Venice's foremost contemporary artists. Federica Marangoni is a woman with strong opinions and no fear of expressing them. Her family are amongst the few true Venetians left, and they've fought hard to stay here against the growing influx of foreigners and tourists.
You know, it's my place.
It's
where I spend the biggest part of my day, and particularly the nights.
Yeah, you work at night?
Yeah, I love to work at night.
Why, in particular?
Because night is quiet, nobody calls you, the phone is not ringing. All the best of my work has been done during the night. This is melting TV. You never know when a TV is still good or you have to throw it away and buy a new one. This is crash the TV.
And you're always working in glass?
Glass is my fundamental media. I love it. I use it in different ways as a link through all my ideas.
Where do you have all these sculptures made?
In Murano, because Murano is our roots, our big patrimony of richness in culture and in artisan's tradition. So the craftsmen there are the best, and they are still in between the best.